Welcome all. Hope you're doing well. Do you like gold and going on adventures, maybe even fighting a dragon and doing all of that in an old school Nintendo game? All sounds pretty cool. If you like that, stick around for today's project and even stick around longer to the end of the episode as we might have a giveaway for the project as well. So we'll see you in a second. So while we're talking about crypto gold, you know what else feels like gold? That like button right down there. That's right. If you could smash it, I know you want to, and I would really appreciate it. So go ahead and smash that thing. It'll help out that YouTube algorithm so this video gets seen. Of course, if you'd like to support me even more, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is going to come out. Now, we also have another little nugget, if you will, right also down in that description you'll see the Zzz Money Club. It's an excellent place for people like yourself to come talk passive income every day. We are talking about the latest DeFi projects, node projects, mining, and of course, even blue chip cryptos. There are awesome giveaways for the members with this month's giveaway totaling over $4,000. Of course, you can also come chat with the founders of the club, Decade Investor, and your friend Andy, as well as myself and many other YouTubers. Check it out, and I hope to see you inside. So I haven't even told you about today's project name, and that is DeFi Empire Games. And it's not really just a project, it's an ecosystem. So this group actually has multiple games on the horizon. They'll, of course, launch with the very first one, and we'll go into detail on that later. But they're going to build out way more than just the initial launch. And so to step in there, there's also been a little bit more going on here. This is not their first time launching. This is actually the version 2 of the DeFi Empire Games ecosystem launch. And there's a little bit of backstory with that. But first, before we get into that, go check out my original video on DeFi Empire Games and Jace the Adventurer right up there. I'll have the card up there. Go check it out. Definitely go watch that first before you get here because there's a lot of stuff up there that we're not going to all cover in this video because this is kind of an update video. I'll give you a little small overview, but there's a lot more information there. So go check that out. Now, the original launched almost 2 months ago now. So it launched a long time ago. I was already in it, was vested in it, and was having a good time there. It launches. But then several days go by and the contract starts to diminish pretty greatly. And most of that is just based all around, unfortunately, whales and people just pulling, immediately dumping the token. And so this happened. This is not unusual. But with this project had a lot going on for itself. And so a lot of the community members all spoke up. And basically, the request was eventually please redo this game, the ecosystem, to start off with a better footing to build in taxes into the system that basically averted this. So it was agreed upon by the entire community. It stopped, and this is the V2 relaunch essentially. Now, the V1, the liquidity is locked up over there. It still operates just fine, but V2 is a complete relaunch of the system, brand new contracts. They've done some great updates. But, anyways, that's the history, and that's where we went from V1 to V2. There are a ton of innovations, upgrades, improvements all across this V2, especially the very first game, which we'll look at, which is all about adventuring, just like the original one, Jace the Adventurer. And we'll talk about more of that again in just a moment. And since we mentioned the games, just real quick overview, we're going to start out with a miner style game at the launch where you'll invest your tokens and earn back. And then they're going to branch out soon after. You're talking about a month later, they're going to have an NFT minting. And so those NFTs will go out, we'll get those, and that will be used in another game that comes out maybe soon after those NFTs are minted. So they've got several layers to this ecosystem that they're already in the works and already planned out, and even more to come that they haven't mentioned or discussed just yet. So let's hit up tokenomics in this system. And the very first token is going to be the governance token, and it is EDG, Enhanced Draconic Gold. So that's going to be their main token across all their games. Now it's going to tie into the NFT minting. There is a secondary token which is already kind of in the works and exists out there. We'll talk about that in a second once we talk about the NFT minting more. But this EDG is going to be used in the very first game, the miner game. It has your standard buy, sell, transfer taxes, but they actually have some more stuff built in. And I'm just going to throw this out there. A lot of this miner style game is getting very, very close to the baked bean style games with a ton of sustainability due to the way the tax system works and the compounding, et cetera. There's a bunch that we'll see there. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that. Very excited about that because all the stuff they've done makes it super sustainable. Now, it does have a token, so it's not just baked beans where you go dump in your BNB or all the other forks out there, depending on what they use, like BUSD or AVAX, whatever it may be. So you're not just dumping in a stable coin. You do have to buy a token, and then that token is actually invested in the miner, but that's not that unusual. So, anyways, my point is super good taxes for sustainability. We'll talk about all that in a second, like I said. But initially, with the actual EDG token, there are actually some pretty stringent taxes on selling and dumping. So, to expand on the taxes, besides the normal ones, we've got some pretty cool taxes in the way of dump taxes. So, if you try to dump, you're going to be hit with a pretty hefty percentage there, depending on the time frame of how often you're selling on the token itself. They're going to be whale taxes. So whale taxes are going to come into play with a tiered aspect on this. And they even have another tax that if you try to sell straight up the token, you buy it and then you come back and sell it later. So essentially, if you try to flip it, you're also going to be hit with taxes there. So the intent of that is they want you to actually put the tokens into their games and then earn off of that. So if your tokens actually come back out of the games, you won't be hit with this tax, this flip tax. So, anyways, just a great way to get people incentivized to use the ecosystem instead of just coming in for a quick flip. I like all this. I mean, for me, I'm not here just for a quick flip. I know there's going to be people that don't feel that way about this, but you still have a good chance to get into the system, and that sustainability on that contract feels really good. Now, again, none of this is financial advice, as I always say in all my videos, but this is how I feel about it, and I feel really good about the tax system and the sustainability aspect of what it can provide to the system just based off of all these new forks that are coming out, like I said, with baked beans. I'm currently in one right now that reminds me a lot of what's going on here, but this has even more in the way of sustainability. So as I mentioned, the first game is a miner style project, and it's called the Adventurers Guild. So you're basically going to deposit or basically burn, we'll say, because when you do deposit these, you don't get them back. You're basically taking your EDG that you've purchased as a token, you're depositing those or buying adventurers with those. And once you do that, your tokens, they're lost. You won't get those back. Your adventurers will go out and actually earn you gold that you can claim back in the form of EDG. So you're just earning back EDG depending on how many adventurers you have working for you. These are pretty standard miner games, so pretty fun. Now the cool part is, and we'll run a video now. They have a very gamified aspect with this. You don't have to actually do the game version of this, but it's pretty cool that you can run around your dude, have him walk around the level. Just to keep in mind what we're showing here, this is the original V1, the Jace Adventure. So this is not the new one. The new one has several updates that are going to help out greatly with keeping up with a lot of the new features they've added in and cleaning up some things that were mentioned. One of the key items I'll mention, it was very hard for smaller investors to get into the game originally. They couldn't afford one adventurer. They couldn't hire one of those because it took so many more tokens that it didn't allow them the way it launched. Now they fixed that for this one. It's going to be much easier for smaller bag sizes to come in and buy into the actual system so they don't feel like they can't even get into it from the start, which is, of course, a great thing so that everyone can get in that wants to play the game. So my second thing that they've improved on is if you're familiar with Drip Garden and other miners as well, you go and you actually have your compound. You're sitting there looking at it, and you're fixing to hit that compound button. And whatever it is, drip garden is you have seeds that you're getting back from your plants. So bear with me if you're not familiar with this. Whatever it is, the seed. If you don't have enough seeds to create another plant, let's say you need 10 and you got 15. Well, those extra 5 seeds don't have anything to do with a full plant, but 10 seeds is enough to buy one plant, your 5 seeds are just lost. And so you basically waste them. They just go off into dust, I guess. That's a terrible feeling. That's something that was discovered. So you end up basically always making sure when you compound into these things, you're sitting there watching the numbers, or they have applications that people made so that you could not basically lose out, that you want to be fully efficient, right, in your compounding. You have to go do all that work, basically, is my point, to make sure that you maximize the efficiency. It's kind of annoying. They fixed this. You don't have to worry about that. You don't lose decimal places, is really the point. So if you have enough to hire one adventurer, If you have enough to hire 1.5 adventurers, you're still okay because, of course, you can't hire half of an adventurer, but you don't lose those decimals. The system works itself out. It keeps track of all that and it will handle it so you don't waste and lose your additional gold coming in. So, all that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. I know a lot of people are going to be super happy about that from V1. So they know exactly what's going on and they don't have to worry about, compounding at the right exact moment too. That's always a frustrating thing in these miners that I think these guys, this team has tried to fix, and we're looking forward to it in the launch. So one new aspect from V1, and it's not new in this realm of miners, but huge compounding bonuses, and this ties into the sustainability stuff I mentioned. If you wait, the max cap is if you hit up to 12 days, I believe, you get 130% extra bonus. Huge numbers there. So basically, they incentivize you to wait longer instead of claiming. As long as you're not claiming, your compounding bonus grows over time and peaks out at what I just mentioned. So super good numbers there. I think this just ties more into sustainability, both the aspect of not necessarily wanting to claim because you want to keep your compound going, or at least having a strategy to where you don't claim too much. That's what these tend to be, by the way. Oftentimes, you end up with some sort of strategy. The common one, like baked beans, I mentioned, 6-1. People, anyways, try to find the most appropriate strategy, or they work together as a community, whatever it may be. I like that in these. It kind of gets the community work together, which I think is pretty cool. So you come together and you get some kind of strategy. And anyway, in the end, the point is these contracts do a lot better with all this built into place, with the dump taxes, the well taxes, the compounding bonuses, etc. All this stuff just stacks on top of itself and further keeps that contract rolling so it stays very fresh and healthy so people don't just immediately dump on their tokens or whatever it may be, if that makes sense. So I know we already talked about tons of taxes and the compounding that we just said, but there is one more item inside the Adventurers Guild that also helps with that sustainability, and it is a withdrawal tax. So if you withdraw too often from the game itself, this is not the selling aspect of the token, but if you're withdrawing, there are taxes there as well that increase if you withdraw too much. I can put all those up on the screen actually, we'll just throw them there. But as long as you don't withdraw more than 48 hours, so you only do one withdrawal every 48 hours, no taxes. But if you try to do more, eventually it just adds up to a certain amount, and then you end up getting to insane levels and ridiculous taxes. So that's an incentive there to not constantly pull out of the contracts. So now to cover a little bit of the roadmap stuff, the next thing that they're going to launch after the initial Adventurers Guild launch and the public launch of the token, they're going to hit up staking of the token itself, EDG, and that's going to play into you getting a little bit of APR, APY off of staking that, which staking that's going to also help with sustainability of the token. But you're going to earn about 185% APY, which is awesome. So if you stake that, you can earn more, unstake whenever you want to and sell. But anyways, that's the next layer. I believe they said 5 days after the launch that comes out, by the way. Then beyond the staking, we move into the NFT mint and finally the Outlaws and Guards game. Now, the NFT minting is pretty simple. If you mint, you either are going to get an outlaw or a guard, and those outlaws and guards, of course, tie into the game coming up. So they're going to have a limited amount of these available. There's only 500 of these for the initial mint. We'll talk about how you get more in a second. So you're going to mint these NFTs through two tokens. The first one we've already talked about, the EDG. The second one is a token we haven't mentioned yet. It is actually tied into V1. Now, it's also going to be made from V2, but they had already started V1. Essentially, Dragon Mana Crystals is the token, by the way, DMC. You staked your original token was actually called DEG if you watched the first video. Those people that had DEG and staked it, they actually had been earning small amounts of DMC over time ever since this launch way back. Like I said, it's been almost 2 months now. So about that time, everybody's been earning some DMC. Anybody that's staked has remained in there. So those people will be able to use the DMC to purchase the NFT mints as well. So they're also going to actually let you earn them. So that's not the only way. You will actually earn those inside of the game. But anyways, limited mint, like I said, 500. The way you actually get more of these NFTs, if I were to own an NFT out of the initial 500, I can actually create more as long as I have one. So I can mint more as a holder by paying more EDG and DMC to mint an additional NFT, which Of course, I could sell to someone if they wanted to buy one. So it kind of gives you some incentive there to create more because that 500 is pretty limited. And of course, you can hold multiples. Now that branches us over the game itself, Outlaws and Guards. I'm going to let you all do a little research on this. I'm going to cover it high level, but definitely check out the Medium article and the website. Of course, I'll have all that down in the description. So for sure, check it out so you know more about what's going on with this. But the high level view is you just stake your NFTs for periods of time and you earn back EDG and DMC. So you're earning back all that. Of course, you're earning that passive profit technically. So really easy. There'll be more to come with this ecosystem. They've already kind of hinted at that sort of stuff. They'll be doing more games in the future. But anyways, that's the layout of the game right now. I'm pretty excited about it. I was, started in V1, like I said. I was excited to start those NFT mints, but then we hit all that point with some of the people selling because there just weren't enough taxes and control inside the system to keep that from just being burn off so fast, which nobody likes that nowadays. We see all that importance in a lot of the DeFi projects that are out right now with putting that in there to ensure that people can't just dump immediately. So lastly, I guess, when is the launch? And the launch is actually going to be on the 30th of April. So coming up pretty soon after this video. Along with that, we don't know the time, by the way, but along with this, the day before is the stealth launch. And why do I mention that? Well, the stealth launch is actually going to be for whitelisters to be able to purchase a small amount of EDG tokens. It's not a lot. You can contribute if you're whitelisted up to zero point 0.5 BNB to buy some tokens. So not too bad of a deal. You can put a little bit in. And most importantly, I have 2 whitelists to give away that I'd love to give away to all the people that are watching my video and hopefully some people on Twitter that are following me. And we're going to do that on Twitter, by the way. So those of you that are watching this, my intent is to have the Twitter giveaway go out on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for it. Hopefully I'll have this video out sooner before, but definitely be aware of it. I want that giveaway to be available to a lot of folks so everybody gets a chance at it. You're just going to go on there, follow the instructions in the Twitter post, get your chance at it, and I will try to get you a whitelist, hopefully, to 2 lucky people. We'll probably have those out and selected by Thursday because that'll be the day before the stealth launch. So hope you all can have a chance at getting in the giveaway. Hope to do more of these giveaways, by the way, and look forward to the future. I will plan on doing another Zzz Money Club giveaway. Like doing those before. I had 5 people that came in and paid for their first month. Really cool place to be. Like I said, you saw the original stuff, but I'll look forward to doing that maybe again next month. So if you like the video, please again give me a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.